Today on MTG Unpacked, it's pre-release week for the latest Magic set, Tarkir, Dragonstorm, and we're getting stuck into the Commander deck, Mardu Surge. So this is a red, white, black deck. So we're making attacker tokens and sacrificing for value. The commanders here, we got Zergo, Stormrender, and Nerev. You get a collector booster sample pack, 100 card deck with 10 new cards. Deck box, 10 double-sided token cards, strategy insert, and reference card. So let's get into it. So these are going for $45.98 on TCG Player at time of filming. So that is pretty reasonable compared to some of the other decks we've looked at in the past couple of days. So we'll get all that stuff out there. And we'll start off here, Mardu Siege. So this tells you about playing the deck, commander rules, and colors of magic. And then we have some lore on a poster here. So Zergo, Stormrender, and Nerev Crackling Vanguard. So that looks pretty cool. And then we have a deck in here. We'll take that out. We've got some punch outs on the other side, just tokens and a QR code. And then we have what we refer to as a deck box. So this thing, pretty flimsy to be honest, but it does hold a sleeved commander deck. Alright, but before we get into the deck, let's take a look at our collector booster sample pack, see what this is about. Probably something underwhelming. Okay, so we've got this ad card, alright. Oh, and a mythic. Rot Curse Rakshasa, Borderless, Good Deal, and a Disruptive Stormbrood. Okay, so we actually did pretty well out of that one. Alright, so let's get into the deck itself. See what this is all about. Lots of token goodness here. And we start off with Zergo Stormrender, legendary creature orc warrior. It's a mythic. 3/3 for red, white, and black. Has mobilize 1. So whenever this creature attacks, create a tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. And whenever a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, so there's our first commander. The second one here, another mythic. We have Nerev Crackling Vanguard. Of course, it's a dragon. Legendary creature spirit dragon mythic. 4/4 for 2. Red, white, and black. Has flying and death touch. And when Nerev enters, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. I'm liking this deck already. And whenever Nerev attacks, exile a number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of differently named tokens you control. During any turn you attacked with a commander, you may play those cards. Alright, so we are going to have tons of tokens here. Let's dig in and see what this is all about. We start off here with Anok Strike Leader, a creature dog warrior. That's cool. 2/2 for 1 and a white. So whenever you attack with this creature and or your commander, for each opponent create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. And if you sacrifice this creature tokens you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Then we have Iron Will Forger, creature orc artificer, 3/3 for 3 and white. And it has Lieutenant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, target non-legendary creature you control gains Myriad until end of turn. So Myriad means whenever it attacks for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token copy that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Exile the tokens at end of combat. Then we have Will of the Mardu, instant for 2 and white, choose 1. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. So create a number of 1/1 red warrior creature tokens equal to the number of creatures target player controls. And Will of the Mardu deals damage to target creature equal to the number of creatures you control. Then we have Bone Devourer. Creature dragon 2/2 for 3 and a black. Has flash and flying. This creature enters with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of creatures that died this turn. And when this creature dies, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it. Then we have Within Range. It's an enchantment for 3 and a black. When this enchantment enters, create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. Whenever you attack, each opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures attacking them. Next up we have Gold Lust Triad Creature Dragon. 4/3 for 4 and a red. Has flying and myriad. So we learned about myriad before. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Then we have Infantry Shield. Artifact equipment for 2 and a red. Equipped creature has menace and mobilize X, where X is its power. So that means whenever it attacks, create X tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Equip for 2. Then we've got Redoubled Storm Singer. Creature Orc Wizard 3/3 for 2 and a red with first strike. Whenever this creature attacks, for each creature token you control that entered this turn, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of that token. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice those tokens. Adeline Resplendent Cathar. Legendary creature Human Knight. Star 4 for 1 and 2 white with vigilance. Its power is equal to the number of creatures you control. And whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Then we have a Mythic. Angel of Invention. Creature Angel. 2/1 for 3 and 2 white. Has flying, vigilance, and lifelink. Also fabricate 2. So when this creature enters, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, or create 2 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Then we have Commander's Insignia. Enchantment for 2 and 2 white. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. Then another Mythic. Divine Visitation. Enchantment for 3 and 2 white. If one or more creature tokens will be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. Then we have a Merrier Angel. Creature Angel. 3/3 for 2 and 2 white with flying and landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. Grand Crescendo. Instant 4x and 2 white. Create X 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And a Mythic. Hero of Bladehold. Creature Human Knight. 3/4 for 2 and 2 white. Has Battle Cry. So whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And whenever this creature attacks, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Then we have Hour of Reckoning. Sorcery for 4 and 3 white. Has Convoke. So your creatures can help cast the spell. Each creature you tap while casting this spell pays for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's color. Destroy all non-token creatures. And a Mythic. Legion Loyalty. Enchantment for 6 and 2 white. Creatures you control have Myriad. And Selfless Spirit. Creature Spirit Cleric. 2/1 for 1 and white. Has flying. Sacrifice this creature. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And another Mythic. Sun Titan. Creature Giant. 6/6 for 4 and 2 white with vigilance. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Dekazia's Welcome. Enchantment for 2 and white. Whenever one or more creatures you control with mana value 3 or less enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And Twilight Drover. Creature Spirit. 1/1 for 2 and white. Whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And for 2 and white, and removing a +1/+1 counter from this creature, you get to create 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Then we have a Chittering Witch. Creature Human Warlock. 2/2 for 3 and a black. When this creature enters, create a number of 1/1 black rat creature tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. And for 1 and a black, sacrifice a creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Eliminate the competition. Sorcery for 4 and a black. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice X creatures. Destroy X target creatures. And a mythic. Gix, Yawgmoth, Praetor. This is a pretty crazy reprint here. Legendary creature. Phyrexian Praetor. 3/3 for 1 and 2 black. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, they draw a card. And for 4 and 3 black, discard X cards. Exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. Then we have Mindblade Render. Creature Azra Warrior. 1/3 for 1 and a black. Whenever your opponents are dealt combat damage, if any of that damage was dealt by a warrior, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. And Ophiomancer. Creature Human Shaman. 2/2 for 2 and a black. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you control no snakes, create a 1/1 black snake creature token with Death Touch. Then we have Yahenni Undying Partisan. Legendary creature Aetherborn Vampire. 2/2 for 2 and a black with haste. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Yahenni. And if you sacrifice another creature, Yahenni gains indestructible until end of turn. Grenzo, Havoc Razor. Legendary creature Goblin Rogue. 2/2 for 2 red. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, choose 1. Goad target creature that player controls, or exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any colour to cast that spell. Then we got a Legion War Boss. Creature Goblin Soldier. 2/2 for 2 and a red. Has Mentor, so whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature with lesser power on it. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red Goblin creature token. That token gains haste until end of turn and attacks this combat if able. Then we have an Ogre Battle Driver. Creature Ogre Warrior. 3/3 for 2 and 2 red. Whenever another creature you control enters, that creature gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. And Siege Gang Commander. Creature Goblin. 2/2 for 3 and 2 red. When this creature enters, create 3 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens, and for 1 and a red, sacrifice a Goblin. This creature deals 2 damage to any target. Tempt with Vengeance. Sorcery for X and a red. Has Tempting Offer, so create X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens with haste. Each opponent may create X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens with haste. For each opponent who does, create X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens with haste. That is pretty nutty. Then a mythic. Kaya Geist Hunter. Legendary Planeswalker Kaya. 3 loyalty for 1 white and black. So her +1. Creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature token you control. Her -2 until end of turn. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. Her -6, exile all cards from old graveyards and create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying for each card exiled this way. Then we have Blade of Selves, artifact equipment for 2. Equipped creature has Myriad. You can equip for 4. And Idol of Oblivion, artifact for 2. Tap, draw a card, activate only if you created a token this turn. And for 8, tap, sacrifice this artifact, create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token. That is nuts. Then we have a Mere Battle Sphere, artifact creature, Mere Construct. 4/7 for 7. When this creature enters, create 4 1/1 colorless Mere artifact creature tokens. And whenever this creature attacks, you may tap X untapped Mere you control. If you do, this creature gets +X +0 until end of turn and deals X damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. Okay, so grabbing the next part of the deck here. And we have Solemn Simulacrum, artifact creature Golem. 2/2 for 4. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. When this creature dies, you may draw a card. Then we have Battlefield Forge. It's a land. Tap for colorless, tap for red or white. This land deals 1 damage to you. And Canyon Slough. Tap for black or red. This land enters tap. Cycle it for 2. So you pay 2, discard this card, and draw a card. Then we have Castle Ardenvale. This land enters tapped unless you control a plains. Tap for white. And for 2 and 2 white, tap. Create a 1/1 white human creature token. Then we have Castle Embereth. This land enters tapped unless you control a mountain. Tap for red. And for 1 and 2 red, tap. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Caves of Koilos. Tap for colorless. Tap for white or black. This land deals 1 damage to you. And Clifftop Retreat. This land enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a plains. Tap for red or white. Dragon Skull Summit. This land enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain. Tap for black or red. And Exotic Orchard. Tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Fetid Heath. Tap for colorless. And for white or black, tap. Add 2 white, 2 black, or white and black. Then we have Isolated Chapel. This land enters tapped unless you control a plains or a swamp. Tap for white or black. And Shattered Sanctum. This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Tap for white or black. Smoldering Marsh. Tap for black or red. This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. And Temple of Silence. This land enters tapped. When this land enters scry 1, tap for white or black. Temple of Triumph. This land enters tapped. When this land enters scry 1, tap for red or white. And Vault of the Archangel. Tap for colorless or for 2 white and black. Tap. Creatures you control gain death touch and lifelink until end of turn. Windbrisk Heights. It's a land has Hideaway 4. So when this land enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. This land enters tapped. Tap for white, and for a single white tap, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if you attacked with 3 or more creatures this turn. Then we have Shadow Summoning. Sorcery for white and black. Create 2 tapped 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Lightning Greaves. Artifact equipment for 2 equipped creature has haste and shroud. So that means it can't be the target of spells or abilities. Equip cost is 0. Skull Clamp. Artifact equipment for 1 equipped creature gets +1, -1. And whenever equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards, equip for 1. Arcane Signet. Artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. And Soul Ring. There it is. Artifact for 1. Tap for 2. Colorless. Command Tower. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. And Gold Knight Commander. Creature, human, cleric, soldier. 2/2 for 3 and a white. Whenever another creature you control enters, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Then we have Lingering Souls. Sorcery for 2 and a white. Create 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Has flashback for 1 and a black. So you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Release the Dogs. Sorcery for 3 and a white. Create 4 1/1 white dog creature tokens. Stroke of Midnight. Instant for 2 and a white. Destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Swords to Plowshares. Instant for a single white. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. And Bastion of Remembrance. Enchantment for 2 and a black. When this enchantment enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Then we have Bitter Triumph. Instant for 1 and a black. It's an additional cost to cast a spell. Discard a card or pay 3 life. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Deadly Dispute. Instant for 1 and a black. It's an additional cost to cast a spell. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. So that's an artifact with tap, sack this token, add 1 mana of any color. Morbid Opportunist. Creature, human rogue, 1/3 for 2 and a black. Whenever 1 or more other creatures die, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And Viscera Seer. Creature, vampire wizard, 1/1 for a single black. Sacrifice a creature and scry 1. So that means look at the top card of your library. You may put that card on the bottom. Then we have a Braid. Instant for 1 and a red. Choose 1. It deals 3 damage to target creature. Destroy target artifact. Beetleback Chief, creature Goblin Warrior, 2/2 for 2 and 2 red. When this creature enters, create 2 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens. And Loyal Apprentice, creature Human Artificer, 2/1 for 1 and a red, has haste and Lieutenant. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, create a 1/1 colorless stop the artifact creature token with flying. That token gains haste until end of turn. Then we have Nomad Outpost. The land enters tap, tap 4, red, white, or black. And moving on to the rest of the deck, we'll cut the tokens there. And we have Aaron Benalia's Ruin, legendary creature, Phyrexian human, 3/3 for 2 white, and the black has Menace. So that means this creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. And for a white and black, tap, sacrifice another creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Then we have Thalise, Reverent Medium, legendary creature, human cleric, 3/4 for 3 white and black. At the beginning of each end step, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. Then we have Felwar Stone, artifact for 2, tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Talisman of Conviction, artifact for 2, tap 4, colorless, or tap 4, red or white. This artifact deals 1 damage to you. And Talisman of Hierarchy, artifact for 2, tap 4, colorless, or tap for white or black. This artifact deals 1 damage to you. And Wayfarer's Bauble, artifact for 1, for 2, tap, sack this artifact, search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Bajuka Bog, this land enters tapped. When this land enters, exile target player's graveyard, tap 4 black. And Path of Ancestry, this land enters tapped. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. Shattered Landscape, it's a land, tap 4, colorless, tap, sack this land, search your library for a basic mountain, plains, or swamp card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle, cycle 4, red, white, and black. So you pay that, discard this card, draw a card. And Terramorphic Expanse, it's a land, tap, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. And then we have basic lands, 5 plains, 5 swamps, and 5 mountains. Okay then. And the tokens here, we have a treasure token. So tap, sack this token, add 1 mana of any color. On the other side, a 1/1 flying spirit. We got a goblin 1/1. Love that token. 1/1 soldier, 1/1 human. On the other side, a 1/1 rat. 4/4 flying and vigilance angel. On the other side, a 1/1 flying spirit, 1/1 flying bird with a 1/1 flying thopter. Death touch snake 1/1. And a mere 1/1 on the other side. A 1/1 dog. He looks like a happy pup. 1/1 goblin. And a 10/10 Eldrazi on the other side. A 1/1 citizen. 1/1 warrior. And a 1/1 servo. 1/1 warrior. And a 1/1 haste elemental. And parts of the turn and popular Magic formats. Alright, so this one is pretty obvious. It's all about the tokens. So crank out tons of those. You can cash them in for other things. You can buff them and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. So let me know in the comments what you think about this deck. Like I said, it is a bit cheaper than the ones we reviewed earlier. And if you've missed any of the Tarkir Dragonstorm videos on the channel, I'll pop a link in the corner to the complete playlist. And stay tuned, we got one more commander deck to go. That is for Jeskai. So looking forward to it. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.